Boy, am I glad I made this series 9 videos long. Whew. A game this size really needed that many videos. I'll talk about that in the video. But first, my name is Helper Wesley. I make games and fortnightly videos. To begin with, because I'm making a horror game, kind of, I went off to make some sound effects. Typically, I'll just use sounds from things like Jumpbox or things around my house to create something, and then I'll go into Audacity and paulstretch it or add bass or give it some echo or reverb or something. So for these, I went to Jumpbox. And I made a couple of basic little sounds that I thought would kind of be okay, because I'm not a sound designer. So I don't know what I'm doing, and I tend to just throw things at the wall and see what sticks. And this time around, after getting a couple duds, I settled on taking the breathing novelty sound effect from Jumpbox, and Paul stretched it a little bit and added some reverb to make it sound like you're breathing inside of a spacesuit. But sadly, that sound session got kinda put on hold because the dang furnace fired up and I couldn't hear a darn thing. I know everybody has it in their head that being able to travel while you work is this like wonderfully glamorous thing, and I know everybody pictures somebody working up in a hotel on the top floor with a big window overlooking the city, and they're just typing on their computer and they have this beautiful view. But sometimes you just end up in somebody's basement. Not bitter, just accepting reality. So I gave up on sounds and moved on to work on some art. In the last video, I made something that was pretty good actually to represent a corridor with a door. So that would probably be representing like if a character is moving down a hallway. So I tried to make something else with that same kind of angle, and it didn't go anywhere. And in my frustration, I just gave up and started fooling around. I don't know why I started drawing a teddy bear, but I did. I looked up a reference and started getting some ideas of what it should look like, and suddenly, squirrel. But when I got my focus back, I was looking at the reference and started to get to it. I usually start my images by putting things into different layers, and then when I'm done, I'll put it all together and do the final shading and stuff like that. And I did that this time, but it was kind of wonky all the way through till close to the end. And even the end result, I'm like, maybe that's not okay. The problem is that I'm not great at, or I don't know what I'm doing. So I technically know what dithering is and like what it kind of looks like, and it's supposed to be like shading in an art style that doesn't have enough color to shade properly. You can actually see how little I know about this in other videos because I literally used the spray paint tool to put shading on the asteroids back a couple of videos ago. But hey, this came together fine, and you can't look at that and say it's not a teddy bear. So I got that far. But it's for like a horror thing, right? So I wanted it to be a little bit scary in some way. And you know what's really scary? Not a teddy bear, but a teddy bear on its side. No, really though, the idea that the teddy bear was fallen over because something happened to the child. So I squished up one side, moved the leg over, changed some of the shading around, re-angled the head a little bit, and then I don't know what I did with the floor. I think I was having trouble deciding whether or not it should be leaning up against a wall or lying flat on the ground. But whatever ended up happening, the floor is this like shading light patch thing coming from the... I don't know. Again though, it looks like a teddy bear, so job done. Now that I've gone through the effort of making a teddy bear, I think there has to be some kind of event that revolves around children. In the last video, In the last video, I asked for some help with events from commenters. Oh boy. And there were some pretty good story bites suggested. But now that I've got this bear, I think we definitely need some children-related events. Not actual children, but like, you know, children were there at some point. And luckily, where I'm traveling to right now, I'm going to see my nephews, who are rather young. And so I went there and recorded some happy children sound effects. Because as a parent, I can tell you, there is nothing creepier than a toddler. All I did was Paul stretch it and give it some reverb. Children are literal nightmare fuel. And like I said, that pretty much explains the beginning of the video. And then the flames are just an effect from my editing software. So I didn't get much coding work done on the game this time around, but I got some new art assets and sound effects. And besides, I've got another 4 videos to go. Jeez, I've got loads of time. I hope you enjoyed that video. And if you did, be sure to do the whole YouTube thing. And a huge thank you to my patrons. Because of them, my coffee cup is full. And as always, links to all the cool places that I hang out are down below, and if you decide to click on one, then I'll see you there.